Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I finally finished the resizing. I made it a lot harder than it needed to be just by making mistakes. But it's finally implemented, and I was going to give a little demo of that. Open up our trusty debug window. I will move it. I'll drag it around, and then I'll resize it. Got a new resizing gadget here. Drag it out, and as you can see, it works. And I'll even drag it again to show that really is the case. Um, so I had a little trouble getting it to size properly because I was calculating it wrong, but um, and then I decided I'd refactor at the same time, which was dumb. But I got it figured out. So I'll give you a little glimpse for those that are interested about what's going on here. Um, the window manager is based loosely on Microsoft Windows as far as how it handles the messages. It's intentional that it looks that way. However, the implementation is completely different. It's just to give you the style of the Windows API, so that if you picked up a book and looked at it, you would understand what it's doing. And again, that was intentional to make it you not have to learn everything from scratch. Clearly, again, it's not implemented like Microsoft Windows because it's intended to be less than 256K, like the machines of the age, in the 80s. So the goal is to keep it small and lightweight. Um, but again, it's intended to be familiar so that if you wanted to code for it, it's not a completely disastrous learning curve. And I don't have to provide tons of documentation um, where you could actually go and look at Petzold's books or something. It would give you an indication of what was going on. So uh, hopefully, when I get this done enough to have people use it, then they can start, trying to do their own thing with it. Um, I think probably the next thing we'll do is the layering, which I have to fix because of the new bit mapping system. The overlapping objects are going to be handled a little bit differently. So that's for a future episode. In the meantime, we can talk briefly about what's going on here. Um, like I said, it's a message-based system. So when the events are generated by the mouse or whatever, it's coming through a message loop. This is the um, default handler for any messages that the window that you've written, doesn't want to handle, which would include all of the non-client, which is the frame and the gadgets and everything that are on the frame in Windows speak. But um, normally you wouldn't handle those yourself, and that's what's going on here. So um, the non-client draws what draws the frame, and the mouse moves in the non-client area is what you're going to get um, when you move around on the outside of the window. So if we look at the debug, you can see that that is the case. You're getting a non-client move from the default window proc. Performance would probably be a lot better if I didn't have such chatty debug system going on. But right now it's all in flux, so um, constant improvements to changing it, and I break stuff constantly, so this is helpful. But what ends up happening is, in the case of like the resize, when you do left click and then it detects that you've fallen into the resize gadget, it will, it sends a message to start a resize operation, which is here. If we go there, you can drill down in here and you can see that it locks the focus so that as you drag this window continues to get the messages and it doesn't go back to the desktop or something else. Um, this is an internal kernel function to interpret the handle, the window handle, to an actual structure used by the windowing system. Then it's able to fish out the data and some other things about where it's, you know, how big it is and where it's sitting and that kind of stuff, and to turn on the fact that it is resizing. So then the lower level stuff where it's going to call the Viki stuff for doing the bitmap handling. But anyway, that's basically what's going on. When it's done with a resize, it's going to, clean up the mess from the rubber band box, and then actually re-render the window, unlock the focus, and it switches the mouse pointer back to an arrow from the resize gadget or resize mouse pointer. I intend to have a more full-featured video, as I promised, about how all this stuff works from kind of the top down, so that you have some idea of what's actually going on here. But um, that's for another day. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.